Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Stroud, and I come to you with a very somber heart today. The events of the past weeks have left me heartbroken and also validated and joyful for the level of support and public acknowledgement of the trauma that is racism in America. Many of you have seen my Facebook and Instagram posts. It has taken me time to move through my emotions and find my voice so that I could share some things with you that made some sense. Black lives must matter. We must admit that there's been a cheapening and dismissive nature regarding the lives of Black people in America, and it is completely unacceptable, and it must stop. Too many of us have asked time and time again, when will it end? How many senseless, violent, deplorable acts must we watch before we take action and say no more? And this is not just Black people that need to stand up, because the oppressed cannot stop the oppressor. The oppressor must step up and create a healing. Surviving while Black is a trauma story. What I believe many people who do not live as Black people in America have come to see very clearly is that trauma is present every day. It never leaves our amygdala. When we are sitting still in the classroom, when we are on a plane, when we are walking our dog, when we are jogging, when we are going to work, when we are driving our car, we are always aware that our life is threatened, that we are at risk, that our guard needs to be up, that we need to be prepared, because surviving is a trauma story. And we have learned that people don't want to hear our story, that people want to tell us we're overreacting, or we're an angry Black woman, or we're too sensitive, or slavery is over. But trauma is trauma, and trauma affects your physiology, your neurology, your capacity to be available to learning, your relationships, and the way you see yourself. And if we're going to create a universal trauma in this country, we need to understand that safety is a priority. And we have clearly demonstrated that safety is in fact a privilege. Some people are afforded safety and others are not, and that needs to change. That needs to change. That is unacceptable. Basic human rights, the capacity to heal trauma, is held in the simple action of being safe, seen, heard, and helped, which I've listed below. And being Black means you're not safe. It's that simple. And yet, we survive. And many of us thrive in spite of the constant assault on our identity, our health, and our dignity. But we survive because we must. Listen, for people who have said, what can I do? And I am thankful to all the allies who have stepped up and said, Dr. Stroud, what can I do? How can I help? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help. Start by listening. Listen to my trauma story. Listen to the generational trauma story. Listen to the fear of mothers and children and parents and all of us. And when you listen, keep your emotional self in check. This is not about you. No one's blaming you. This is a systemic issue that we're all a part of. I find that when I begin to share my experience, people are emotionally overwhelmed and they don't want to hear it. So their amygdala or stress response requires them to minimize my story. I think this is lower brain system response. I think this is their own way of keeping themselves safe. And it's dismissive and it's marginalizing. And I ask you today to listen to the pain of my story, because it's my story, it's my truth, it's my trauma. And if we're going to move towards a healing, Black people in America need to be safe. They need to be seen. They need to be heard. And we need our allies to step up. So I invite you to be an ally, to speak up on social media in the world. Speak up, not just today, but every day. Every time you see injustice, speak up. When you see someone step in front of an African American in the line at the deli or the coffee shop, step up. When you see an ad that Comcast just released around supporting low-income families with low-cost internet, and all the low-income families are people of color, step up. When you see children of color being asked to exit the classroom because they move, because they live in their bodies, speak up. Use your voice. Stand with us. Let someone know that you're an ally. And I thank you all for following me. I thank you all for being a part of the struggle. This is not easy for any of us. And I fully believe in my heart that the only way we'll heal is if we all start listening, learning together, embracing the reality that is racism in America, and actively attacking it to say no more. Because enough data has been shared to show us that Black lives don't matter, and they must matter. This simply cannot continue.